Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 65 of the Berry Fun Yarns podcast. We are here today. It is Sunday, September 21st, and I'm coming to you from southeast Minnesota, where my family and I run a fruit farm that specializes in Concord grapes and naturally dyed yarn. And as of late, it appears blackberries, because we are having a heck of a crop of blackberries this year. But anyway, my name is Tanya. I don't think I've said that before. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I'm kind of feeling very energized at this moment because I've reached the culmination of a project that I have been working on for so long. And you may guess what it is if you have been here before, but it is my side-by-side sample. So this is we're getting right into the finished objects as it's stuck here on the back of my chair. We're just going to get right to it today, though, because I have a lot to share with you. I have some finished projects. I have 2 new patterns that are going to be coming out in the next couple weeks that I want to chat about. And I have a bunch of yarn. I have a yarn update that'll be happening this week. I'm hoping, my plan is that the pattern will come out for this blanket and my yarn update, and this video will all come out on the same day this week. So hopefully it'll be either Tuesday the 23rd or Wednesday the 24th. It will just depend on editing and all that jazz. So back to the finished object, my side-by-side blanket. So this is a pattern that I have been working on. Let me grab my smaller version here. This is the pattern I have been working on since late winter. I would say, gosh, I would have to go back and look at my notes, but I think I started to work on designing it in like the February, March timeframe. And I created there's 2 sizes in this pattern. It is fingering weight held double, or a DK weight yarn. However, that being said, it is very adjustable to any weight of yarn, to any needle size, any gauge, because the pattern is written corner to corner, and how you know when you switch and what you do is based on how many inches you are going to be knitting for each side. The directions will explain that all plain as day. However, if you have lots of worsted weight yarn and you want to knit this in worsted, one of my sample testers, or my test knitters, did, I think, do hers in worsted. So, it's very adjustable. Great for scraps, great for variegated yarn, great for solid yarn, whatever you have, really. I think it's going to be a great stash buster. And I'm probably going to sprinkle in some photos here with their approval from my testers of what they also came up with. But this is the small size in the pattern is for a 30 by 30 inch blanket. And the only reason it really matters for how the pattern is written is that we have figured out the yardage requirements I have figured out the yardage requirements for each size. So that way for example, if you're going to make this small size, this is a baby blanket size, before blocking, it measures 30 by 30 inches. This was my version. And I used scraps for mine, variegated scraps. And I just kind of started with the lighters, and I worked kind of orange, pinks, purples, kind of. And then I worked down into some darker browns. Or actually, I might have actually done it the other direction. I can't remember. It's been a while now. But the fun feature of this, so it is corner to corner. Like I said, there is a really beautiful kind of garter edging all the way around. Maybe easier to see that on the lighter color. And then on one side, you're going to see it features the knit one below stitch. So one side, you're going to have 2 lines of the knit one below stitch, and the other side will have just 1. So it is a completely reversible blanket. I will say that the The design of the knit one below stitch is a little more prominent in a solid color versus a heavily variegated color. So let me show you the blanket I finished just yesterday. Actually, technically it was this, no, it wasn't. It was yesterday. It was like 11:45 p.m. when I finished weaving in all my ends. But this was a big knit to do in less than 3 months, especially because I was still knitting other things. So this is the large size is a 50 by 60 inch is what I figured out the yardage for. And this yardage is all based on, and the measurements before blocking, because you're not gonna block it midway through. You're gonna knit to a certain point, you're gonna measure it, and then that's how you know when you turn your sides to continue on towards the end. I will say this is garter stitch. The only purls are in the knit one below pattern sections that you see. Otherwise, it's all garter. And the great thing about that is that it is, one, very squishy, especially if you hold fingering double or if you hold some other weight double. I just think it makes it extra squishy, but also because it stretches so much. So my small size was 30 by 30 before I washed and blocked it. After, it was 35 by 35, so it grew quite a bit. My large one started out as 50. Actually, I think it was like, I wrote my notes here. Let's see. It started as not quite 60. It was like 50 by 59 and a half. Like I hadn't quite measured it right, which, happens. But when I blocked it, it ended up being 60 by 71 and a half. And by blocking, I mean, I washed it with wool wash in my washing machine and I dried it lightly. So I didn't like super over dry it, but I washed and dried it in my washing machine and dryer because I did use Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. Let me see if I have I am talking a lot. You probably are like, just show me the blanket. We're going to get there. So I used this Stroll Fingering weight and I held it double. So I made mine like a rainbow. So this is really hard to show you, but I am probably going to insert pictures here because it is impossible. Let me see I'm going to back you up. Let me see. So I started in the red section. Ignore my messy desk here. I started up in the red. This is the other direction. Okay. Goes down into the yellow. I think I was down into the blues maybe last time I came to you. And then it finishes all the way into purple and like a pinky purple. But it is humongous. Put you back here by me. So it actually fits over our queen size bed. It's not quite as long, but it's definitely wide enough to go over both. But let me show you the patterning kind of close up and see if you can see it. So you see here is the one side with the knit one below, and then the other side looks like this. So it just gives kind of a really fun, almost sort of stripey, but not with the color, but with the patterning. It just sort of pops out fun. So it was a lot of knitting for less than 3 months, like I said, but I will say that one of my tests about whether or not my pattern is a good design is, do I hate it after a short time? And when I first started designing for this blanket, there were a couple iterations that I did not like. Like I got sick of the design after a while. This one is very rhythmic, very memorizable. You put stitch markers in to help you remember where these little pattern sections are. And even though I was really excited to be done with it, I was still enjoying the pattern at the end. So I think that says something about a pattern when you can knit that much and you still like the pattern. I wasn't sick of it. I think I will still make more, just not on a deadline. So, but yeah, I really like this. I think we are going to use this blanket a ton come winter. So that is the side-by-side blanket. And like I said, the pattern will be going live on Ravelry, hopefully Tuesday the 23rd or Wednesday the 24th. I will be posting at the same time I post this video. So if you're watching this video, you can go purchase it on Ravelry. There will be a discount code for the first probably 3 days or so of the pattern release. And I will put that here on the screen once I get that all set up in Ravelry. And then also, if you don't want to purchase through Ravelry and you just want to use a PDF form, you can also purchase it directly from my website. And all that will be linked down below. Okay, so that's the first big finish and pattern coming out. I feel like I have a lot of adrenaline going right now because there's so much going on at our house right now. Like I said, it's Sunday, but our Concord grape season is starting on Wednesday. So I planned this really well with like 2 pattern releases right around the time of grape season, and school starting and all that chaos. But we were outside today. I was picking blackberries. We have like, maybe I'll show you if I have some photos. I can show you some little snippets, but we have these like 3 big rows of blackberries, and then we have like another shorter row. The other row is a different variety and it's not producing as well. But the 3 rows that I picked from today, it took me like an hour and 20 minutes and I got probably about, I would say 20 to 25 pounds of blackberries, which is a ton. Usually we just use them to make jam and we sometimes sell them to customers directly. I have been doing both and I have a freezer full of them. So I have now moved on to juicing them. We have a juicer steamer that we use to make grape juice. So that's what I did. The ones I have half done from the ones today, and I'm going to make like grape jelly out of them. So that's happening. We had to clean out what we call our berry shed this morning, which is, it's kind of what we sell from when we're open here at the farm. People come out to pick their own grapes. And so we have like a setup with the table and we sell jam there and that kind of thing. But in the off season, when we're not using it, because we only use it like 3 or 4 weeks out of the year, it becomes storage. So you can imagine on a farm that's a working farm, you put machinery in there and you put, whatever, you store it. So we had to clean it up. So it has been a busy day. And I also picked raspberries this morning, which are my favorite. That took me a little while. So I do have one more finish I want to show you here. I have some notes written, but I want to show you these so that when it gets colder out, I can give them to my son. But I finished my vanilla socks. These were knit with Mitchell's Creations. I think it's called Flower Bomb. Yes, Flower Bomb colorway, and this is a 75 superwash merino, 25 nylon, 4-ply fingering weight. And you'll see I used these cute little, I can't think of the word, mini skeins from Knit Picks. And so I used this purple one and the gold one, and I kind of switched. One sock I did purple on the toe and the leg and opposite on the heel, and then this one I did it the opposite. So just simple fingering weight vanilla stockinette socks. I did do some kind of adjusting because he has big feet, but he has kind of small legs. I adjusted, and these notes are in my project page, but I adjusted how many stitches I had for his leg, and then I increased for the heel and the instep and the foot. So if you are interested in that and how I did that you can find on my Ravelry page, but I did finish those. So that is one. So those are my 2 finished objects since I came to you last. I gotta check my little notes here so I don't forget anything. My whips, I am only going to show you one today because I don't want this video to be super long, mostly because 1, I have to edit it, and 2, I have a ton of very fun yarns things I want to show you at the end. Also, I haven't been knitting on a ton of things besides that blanket. It's kind of funny whenever I do like a big project like that, I often feel like, especially if you're doing it on a deadline, I kind of get done with it and I'm like, I don't know what to do. What do I do with myself? But I think I've decided I am looking over at the side of my bed here. I'm going to do some hand quilting after. I have to do some mending on a quilt for my oldest child. So I think that's what I'm going to do. That'll be a good kind of palette cleanser, something totally different to do this week after I get this finished. But this work in progress, I do not think you have seen it. But this is another pattern that will be coming out very soon. My testers for this pattern, I think the final date I gave them was September 29th, which I think is a week from tomorrow. And 3 out of the 4 of them have already finished it and have gotten good response and information. I didn't have too many edits to make. But if you will recall, where did I put here it is. This is my twisted together cowl pattern. This was the first one I made. I made it with mini skeins. And this is a long cowl. Let me take off my microphone for just a second. Okay, so this is a very cozy, kind of close to your neck cowl for wintertime. And you can use it with mini skeins, or you can use 2 colors. You could do it with all in one color. It's kind of up to you. But this one I used mini skeins. So let me take it off so I can tell you a little bit more about it here. I'm going to put this microphone down, pause. Okay, so this one, my first one, actually has 12 sections instead of 10. I did decide that it was a little bit long. When you have your cowls kind of close to your neck, I don't like a lot of fabric in there, so I did decide to shorten it to 10 of the colored stockinette sections instead of 12. But what I did is I had 20-gram mini skeins. Each of these little sections takes about 8 grams, I would say, so if you have a 10-gram micro skein or mini skein, that would be perfect. If you have scraps, that's perfect too. So each section takes about 8 grams. So what I did is I did 2 sections for each of my 6 colors in this one. But when the pattern comes out, of course, if you really wanted if you wanted it extra long, that would be easy. You could make it extra long for sure. Make it as big as you want. But I am recommending 10 of the stockinette sections mixed in with these double horizontal chain sections. And then you have a 2x2 rib on either end. So for this one, I had a main color. Your main color is what you're considering your ribbing and your double horizontal chain stitch sections. You need a 50 gram, approximately 50 grams of fingering weight yarn. This is a fingering weight pattern. So you need approximately 50 grams for the main color. And then for the 10 sections of stockinette, you need approximately 100 grams, or you need 10 grams or 5 20 grams, or scraps if that's what you have. But so that was my first one. And this is the one I have cast on since I saw you last. So the sun is fading quickly outside right now, but I really wanted to get this recorded. So I am doing this one with 2 colors. I am using 50 grams of this, which is called Underwater Adventures. And this is in the Berry Tough Sock 80/20 base that I sell. And this was kind of a one-of-a-kind, really hard to see here because of the lighting. But this is called Street Art, and it is so beautiful knit up. I'll definitely insert a photo because the color is not showing in all its beauty on the screen right now. But so I really like, the multiple color, also very fun. But I really like the 2-tone colors of this too, which is sort of, I don't know, it's just different. So again, this pattern is going to be great for scraps. It's going to be great for those mini skein kits you've purchased and don't know what to do with. It's going to be great for, a full skein that you really want to highlight with a solid or tonal to go with it. Maybe you've got like kind of a crazy, you get those skeins. I know I do a lot when I go out traveling or something and I want a souvenir skein. It always ends up being a sock weight or fingering weight if I can't figure out, what to get. And so then you end up with all these skeins of yarn, and that'll be perfect for something like this, because you could use a half skein scrap that you had left over, or you could use, 2 full skeins, but then you wouldn't use the whole 100-gram skein of the second color. So yeah, so that is the Twisted Together cowl. I'm super excited about that one coming out too. And that one, this won't take me very long to finish. This is actually a very quick knit. I think when I was at the farmer's market, I was knitting on my blanket for a while. I think maybe like 2 hours. I got almost 2 full stockinette sections and a double horizontal chain stitch section done. I am kind of a fast knitter, but I'm sure this will be finished in the next couple days, hopefully by the end of this week, because I am really hoping that the pattern will go live on Ravelry and my website next week, Tuesday or Wednesday. So either the 30th of September or the 1st of October. So that is coming. You can watch for that. If you are a part of my newsletter, you will be receiving updates about both patterns, about the yarn update I'm going to show you here real quick. So yeah, if you're not on my newsletter yet, scroll down below and there will be a link to take you to my webpage, where there is a form at the bottom of the page that talks about my Berry Fun Yarns business, and you can sign up and receive all the updates and any special offers or coupons that I send to my regular customers. Okay, so I have a big basket over here, and I am going to probably trickle in some photos because 1, the light is getting dimmer, and 2, I didn't grab everything to show you. But I have done so much yarn dyeing since since September 2nd, 3rd, that weekend. So the last 3 weeks, I have dyed yarn, I have labeled yarn, and right now I'm in the process of putting it all, I've inventoried it, I'm putting it online. So when this video comes out, you'll be able to click on my shop link below. It will take you there, and everything that you're seeing here should be there unless it is sold out already. So the goal is to have everything up and ready for you at the same time as this video goes up. So the first thing I want to show you is a kit that I made to go with the Twisted Together cowl pattern release. Now, I will say, like I said, you can use whatever you want. I just thought it would be kind of fun to put together 10 10-gram mini skeins and a solid color to have for a main color. So this is what I came up with. Again, I'll probably put in some extra photos, but it is a rainbow of beautifulness. And I did stick with solids or tonals. This one is slightly variegated. Again, very hard to see with the light, but it's kind of greenish yellow. And then the main color is this kind of tan khaki. I call it linen. Linen was the main color that came with my So Sweet shawl Advent Countdown kit from 2023. So that is a color I've brought back because, sometimes you just need a good neutral. And it is a lovely neutral. So this is going to be called the Twisted Together Cowl Kit. And if you are looking for this specifically, it will be under kits in the shop. There's a section for kits. Hello everyone, it's me, Tanya, Editing Tanya, popping in real quick just to let you know that I forgot to mention here that on top of the Twisted Together Cowl Kits, I am now listing single 50-gram skeins in the shop, and those will be on the Berry Tough Sock fingering base, which is the 80-20 base, and also the Yak Sock base. So if you're looking for just something to go with your contrast colors you already have for the Twisted Together cowl, or maybe you're doing color work and don't want to buy full skeins, there is that option now. So those will be listed under the mini skeins section on the website. And there are lots of colors there, and I will continue to add more and update those. If you have any requests, as always, let me know. Okay, just wanted to pop in to tell you that. Back to editing. And I think going forward, I will probably start to make more kits for my patterns if I can, if they are something like this, where it's multiple colors with another one, just because sometimes it's really nice when somebody does the work of putting the colors together for you. That being said, I probably won't put together kits for things like hats and, one skein kind of things. You can figure that out. But if any is like more than one skein, you will find those kits in the kit section. I do believe there are still some snowplow kits listed there for the snowplow cowl, which is a free pattern of mine that you can get on my website or on Ravelry. Okay, so besides that kit, which will be available to purchase now so that you can be ready for the pattern release next week, I put together a couple Halloween-y colors, and they're not like totally Halloween. Sometimes I find it really hard with natural dyes. I have this vision and I want it to look a certain way, and the dyes I think are going to react a certain way. They don't. Maybe it's rained outside. Maybe sometimes it doesn't quite work out. Sometimes it's different. Sometimes it reacts differently to different bases. That's very common. Even sometimes when I am mixing my colors, so the Halloween colors I'm going to pull out and show you here have a green in them that I use with marigold. Actually, the Christmas colors do too. But they have a green in that I use with marigold and an indigo. And sometimes the indigo isn't as strong, and so it comes out maybe more yellow than green or more blue. Usually it's more yellow. Usually it's more yellow than green. But this is, so the first color is called Monster Mash, and it's kind of this like yellowy green. Again, I'm going to put in some better photos for you. This is on Sport Weight. It's called Monster Mash, and there is some of this on Sport Weight. There is some on 80/20 Berry Tough Sock. Let's see where I put my notebook. Oh, right here in my lap. What else did I make it on? So Monster Mash is on Sport. It's available in Berry Tough Sock. It is, what else did I make it in? Maybe I just made it in those two. The color didn't turn out as great as I wanted it to, so I don't think I made as many of these, but I did make more of the second color, which I am calling Trick or Treat. This is on the Sparkle base, and this is on the Sport base. So it's kind of a beautiful orangey background with pops of like really bright pink and purple. And this one has just a lovely sparkle to it. And this colorway I made on Sport, Berry Tough Sport, Berry Tough Sock, Berry Tough Sparkle. Those were kind of the three that I was making stuff on. Let me just double check. I'm telling you all this because I did not bring all of them up here to show you on every base, but if you are looking for them in the shop, that will help you. But Sport, regular sock, and Sparkle sock. And then I also put together a spooky mini skein set. So this is very similar to the Trick or Treat colorway that I just showed you. It's maybe not quite as orange. Then there is a purpley gray one, a golden one, kind of pinky purple, and then this one also very hard to see, but it is like a greeny yellow. It's very subtle. It has some pops of purple and pink, different shades of yellow, and a little bit of green mixed in there. So maybe not your traditional Halloween colors, but that is going to be called the Spooky Mini Skein Set. That will be listed under mini skeins if you're looking for that. And let's see. I think I was feeling marigold dye is this vibrant yellow color. And when I was making the dye, I'm ready for fall. I'm ready for cooler temperatures, but I'm still really loving summer colors. So I did make 2 new summer colors that I really loved. So let me show you those. This one I call Summer's Last Hurrah. This is on Very Tough Sock. So it's like peachy oranges, and boy, that light is really fading fast. It always amazes me this time of year how quickly the sun sets. It gets kind of over I'm pointing this way coming here. I have a window, and that's south facing, but also kind of southwest. And man, it just like reaches a point behind the trees, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and you're like, what happened? It's nighttime already. Anyway, I have it on sock and also on sport. It's so beautiful. I definitely want to make myself a pair of socks out of these. So that's called Summer's Last Hurrah. And that one is going to be on sock and on sport. I don't think I made any on sparkle. So if you're looking for that, that's what those two are. And then this one, I did not make as many of these, but this one is called Fun in the Sun. And it's really hard to see the blue, but close up it has kind of like a bluish green tone with golds and light yellows. Really love this one. This one you're going to find on sport. Very Tough Sock. And I think I also did it on American Worsted, which is my 100% non-superwash American Worsted. That is a Rambouillet Merino blend. But that one's called Fun in the Sun. Okay, so that was the summery ones and the fall ones. And then I did dye Christmas colors already, and I was going to wait to put them in the shop, but then I'm like, no, forget it. We're just doing it all at the same time because it's already almost the end of September. Christmas is going to be here before you know it. So there are two colors. Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to run downstairs. Actually, no, I'm going to just put in a picture. But what I'm going to show you is the two colors that I have on big skeins. This one is called Christmas Grandma's Angel Ornament. It is on sport. So hard to see these colors. It is lovely. This one's on sparkle. And it is like a bluey green color with pinks and kind of maroony pops there. It's called Grandma's Angel Ornament because my great grandma Anna has this ornament that my grandma had, and now I believe my mom has. And it's like, I'm pretty sure it was an angel. I couldn't remember. I used to have a picture of it. I'll have to look when I go home to my mom's house. But I'm pretty sure it was an angel. It's this like vibrant pink color. It's so beautiful. It's like, sometimes those old vintage ornaments, you just can't find them like that anymore. They're cheaply made. I don't know. They're just not the same. But Christmas ornaments in my house they're like an heirloom thing. That one is available on sport, sock, sparkle, and BFL fingering. The Christmas ones, I did make a few on Blueface Leicester fingering. So if you like a little more hardy rustic sock yarn, that's a good one too. And the other one is called Vintage Christmas. And it's kind of this like greeny, yellowy green color, kind of with like a mauve mixed in there. So these colors in here are a marigold green that I made with a lac. Lac is a bug. It gives me a mauve-y color versus the cochineal, which gives me a more pink color. So that one turned out really pretty too. So the Vintage Christmas you'll find on Sport. You'll find it on Blueface Leicester fingering. You will find it on Very Tough Sock and Very Tough Sparkle. So lots of options for what you would like. And so I think I know what I forgot. What I forgot to bring up here is that I also dyed a 5 skein Vintage Christmas mini skein set. And I will put in a picture here for you so you can see what that looks like. But that will be online as well. And that will be available at the same time in the mini skein section where the spooky Halloween set will be. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to share with you is I did dye linen on Sport, if that is something you like. So there's a couple of linen on sport, and there are also a couple of other sport colors. There's a couple of really beautiful, it's sparkle. If you want to make something with this trick or treat color, I dyed some beautiful blackberry on sparkle. That just looks fabulous with that colorway. And then I wanted to introduce you to a new base that I added. And this is something I'm not going to be carrying regularly. This is probably just something I'm going to have for a while. I am working on a little pattern to go with it. But life is kind of busy right now, so I haven't been able to sit down and totally work on it. But this is super bulky, non-superwash merino. It's only 52 yards for 120 grams. It is squishy, big goodness. So I meant to order something not quite this chunky, but I think it's like a single ply. It's almost like roving, but I think it's going to be beautiful. I have an idea for some fingerless mitts that will knit up probably in like a couple hours, and I'm hoping to get that some time to work on that. But I dyed a bunch of colors on this. This is a few of them. You can see. So we've got some linen. This is, I think, swamp moss. Yes, swamp moss. There's some rosa. I think that one's sunshine. I can't remember. Oh, no, it's buttermilk. What do I know? And the other one is Mama's Boy. Mama's Boys. So, yeah. So I think there are a few other colors. I didn't grab them all, but that will be going in the shop. That will be in there for a short time. When it's gone, it's gone. Which leads me to, I've got two quick more things to say about the yarn and my online store. First off, Advent kits. If you ordered an Advent countdown kit from me for this year, I am starting to package those up and over the next couple weeks, and those should go out into the mail by the end of October. I do still have some in the shop. If you are, weren't so sure financially, if you wanted to order one earlier on, or you just weren't so sure if you wanted an Advent kit, you're just now thinking of it, but mine is 25 20-gram mini skeins. If you like the colors that I just showed you, you're going to love the mini skein set or the Advent countdown set, because it's very much me and how I dye. I have a vibe, I've been told. But if you like these colors, you will like the Advent countdown kit. It is based off of Santa Claus, the movie, not necessarily Christmas colors, but ideas that were inspired from watching the movie, pausing a scene, and then picking something out from that scene. So those kits also come with a medium-sized zipper bag and then some other goodies, and you can order that. I think it's actually under its own section. So it's under shop and then the Advent kits. I'll link it below directly. So if you want to go to there, you can get that. So that right now is a pre-order. Please, if you are going to order other yarn and you want an Advent kit as well, please order the Advent kit separately, because I will, unless you want me to hold all of your yarn and ship it together. If you put all the yarn together, I will have to reach out and see if you want me to ship it all together, or if you want to do two separate packages, then I'll probably have to bill you for the other yarn that you want, because it won't work if you order it all together, if that makes sense, with the shipping and everything. And then the last thing I just want to say is this is a lot of yarn that I've updated right now. Going forward, I realize that I have a lot of bases. I counted. Right now I am carrying 14 different bases in my shop. And that is too many for me to keep an inventory. And the way that I dye yarn naturally, it's not always the same. So I don't feel comfortable doing dyed to order because my colorways change. I really think I like my customers to be able to see the actual skein that they are going to get in the mail. So I won't ever probably do dyed to order. But what I'm trying to say is I'm going to be cutting back the number of bases that I will carry. And I'll talk to you more about that on the next episode, because right now there's just a lot going on, and as I have time to kind of sift through it. But if you like a base right now, Very Tough Sock, Very Tough Sport, there's some that, they're going to stay because they're staples and favorites. But I'll tell you more about that on the next episode, about which bases I'm going to probably be discontinuing towards the end of the year. And it's not to say that the bases I discontinue will never come back. I'm just going to do them in batches. So like this super bulky that I just showed you, it will come, and when it's gone, it's gone. So just because it's too hard to keep that much inventory, I don't have a store to hold everything in, and I only have small space. And it stresses me out to have buckets of yarn everywhere around my house. So anyway, that is pretty much it. This episode, I think, is going to be plenty long, even though I didn't share that very many projects with you. But a lot of updates, a lot of news, a lot of patterns and projects and pretties. And yeah, so thank you so much for staying to the end. If you made it this far, I really, really appreciate your support and your kindness, not only on the channel, but with my small business, Very Fun Yarns. And if you have any questions or comments, always please do not hesitate to reach out. My Very Fun Yarns email is berryfunyarns@gmail.com. You're welcome to reach out there. I'm on Instagram and Ravelry as Very Fun Mom, and you can always comment below. I love to chat and to hear what you guys think and what you're doing, if you have suggestions. So thanks so much, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.